Welcome back to Panel A Superheroes Ahoy.
Welcome back to Panel A Superheroes Ahoy.
So I saw the Flash movie today, The Flash Worlds Collide. So I'll just talk about the comic book first because my point of reference to Flash is a lot of different things. So I was a watcher of the Flash TV show on CW. I think I was loyal to it for 4 or 5 seasons. I also saw the Flashpoint Paradox movie, which was a DC animated movie. It came somewhere around 2013. Also the Flash Point comic book that is here, this came around 2011, written by Jeff Johns. It was quite famous in terms of really throwing out the idea of the Flashpoint paradox, multiverse and time travel into the Flash world. So I'll just talk about some of the major themes of the comic book. The comic starts with the Flash in midst of a global crisis. So Wonder Woman has attacked the Atlanteans and Aquaman. Themyscira is on a world dominion kind of quest. There's a lot of juxtaposition of the Flash's emotional story, his bond with his mom at the center of it, and in trying to go back and reverse the events that caused his mom's death, he causes the world to collapse, and a lot of characters kind of come out into this multiverse reality. So you get a lot of DC A and B kind of characters in the mix here. You see a lot of what if situations, like one what if is of Steve Trevor dating Lois Lane. There is also a ragtag group of villains called Secret Seven. There's a lot of slate of characters here. You see Shade, you see Element Woman, you see the Enchantress, you see Grifter, which was again another character in DC New 52. It's called Grifter and the Resistance. And you see also Shazam family. If you basically all the characters from major DC characters like Green Lantern, Flash, Shazam, and so on. But what is really nice in the comic book is that it really handles the team ups of Batman, the Flash and Cyborg really well, and they go and they rescue a Superman which is of a different reality. And then there's obviously the whole Flash trying to change the events of the timeline, and but it's all done in a very coherent manner. So I really loved the Flashpoint book, and DC animated movie Flashpoint Paradox was also pretty much in line with this book. And when I heard the Flash film coming out, I was obviously skeptical. Not a big fan of Ezra Miller, but when they started announcing that they will have Batman, like 2 Batman in it, and they will have Supergirl, I was very cautious about it. But I still went in to watch the Flash movie. So the Flash movie deals with some of the major themes. Few things that it tries to tackle and convey the story is you really get a grand open. It wastes no time in establishing Flash as the cool hero, cool superhero. He's ordering a coffee and something happens outside. That whole sequence reminded me in a way of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, how you quickly see a very grand New York type of battle with a group of villains. But in this, the villain is just a falling building and he has to save a lot of babies that are falling. I really found that sequence very entertaining and hilarious as well, and really establishes the mood of the film really well. Flash is talking to Alfred, which I thought was really cool. It establishes kind of a DCU, like an MCU sort. You see very quickly quite a few characters in this span. You see Ben Affleck's Batman, you see Wonder Woman making an appearance, which I thought was, I think, one of the best scenes of the film. Unfortunately, that whole coolness was a bit short-lived because the movie quickly jumps in the emotional thread of Flash with his emotional bond with his mom, and then trying to it was really not that well established for viewers of the Flash TV show, in which we got to see a very clear timeline that Flash's mom is not around. Here it was not really clear. I think it was to me whether what does he want to do. So in that moment he travels back to an earlier version. I think this is the pre-Justice League version in the DC Universe timeline, and that's when he meets a younger version of himself, and that's when the kind of a ragtag duo buddy comedy kind of picks up. And you see two Flashes here, separated by I think 5 or 6 years, and then the older Flash basically by traveling back has lost his powers, and he takes the earlier Flash to the whole event which led him to acquire those superpowers, the lightning strike. And through all these events you see that there is a global event happening through Flash traveling back in time, which was essentially there in the comic book as well. It has caused some extra forces to attack Earth. So you see General Zod making an appearance, who is attacking Earth, and it is told that he is trying to attack Superman, who is in a pod. So Flash, the two Flashes then have to meet Batman of that universe. So there is no hope, and Superman is not around. And this is also another thread in the comic book where there was no super characters around, meta-humans around, and you see a lot of funny situations. You see alternate realities. There is frequent mentions of Back to the Future, having Eric Stoltz as the Michael J. Fox character. So all those lead to some kind of funny sequences, but then they travel to meet Bruce Wayne at Wayne Manor, and you see Michael Keaton's Batman here, who is living a kind of a recluse life. He's not really the Batman, and but it quickly changes, and they enter the Batcave, and they somehow convince this sort of retired Batman to don on the cape one more time and help them on this rescue mission. So they convince Batman, and this is, I think, the coolest part of the movie, where you see Batman and the two Flashes travel in the whole 80s cool or the retro kind of gear. You see Batmobile as well, and they travel in the Batcopter, I think, and they go to this Russian facility out to save they are hoping to see Superman, but they see Kara Zor-El, who is not in a full element of Supergirl. It takes them some time to so that is again a very interesting and adventurous part of the film, and somehow I think the film hits a peak at that time, and after that the whole confrontation with Zod, and when they're trying to reverse time, it was interesting, but I felt it could have been better, and you get a little tired of seeing the two Flashes. You do get confused with the two Flashes, who is who, and then obviously there are some events that happen which the two Flashes try to reverse by running fast against time, traveling back in time. And this, I think, the sequence of the red Flash and the blue Flash was a very good nod to the Flashpoint Paradox comic book and the animation movie as well. Overall, I think some of the major beats of the comic book are there in the movie, but towards the end you do tend to miss that kind of a wow factor which you expect in a big crossover superhero movie like this. So The Flash Worlds Collide is overall not a bad film, I would say, but fell short of my expectations. I thought DC was trying to do some of the Marvel things here by showing those song sequences and the major action scenes, and some nods, lot of fan service, which was cool. For me, some of the strengths of this movie is Michael Keaton's Batman, some of the appearances and cameos by famous characters of yore. Flash, Ezra Miller plays a good part. He carries a lot of the films on his shoulders, but I felt a lot more was to be desired from Flash as a character. Apart from that, it's quite an entertaining movie, much better than the movies that DC comes up with or has come up with recently. I think the last film I enjoyed this much was probably Justice League Snyder Cut and also Wonder Woman Part 2. But apart from that, Flash Worlds Collide is a good, decent enough movie, but for fan of the original comic book, I think it will leave a lot to be desired. I'm waiting to see where DC goes from here. So that's about me for a quick review of The Flash.